What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. I want to say thank you to everybody that has commented, that has liked, that has subscribed so far. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. I've had some comments that were helpful and enlightening, and I have some comments that were dumb as fuck. But I appreciate all of you, even the ones that leave the dumbass comments. I appreciate that. Really, it makes me chuckle. So, thank you, everybody. And here we are again. So, today, we got the midterms coming up. Midterms, November 8th. Big day. Everybody's getting real excited. And, of course, Jordan Klepper has to be on that. He's out there. He's talking to the people. He's finding out what they think and asking them what their dumbass opinions are. So, let's take a look at what he's got going on. Let's check it out. Let's have some laughs. Let's have some fun. Remember to laugh at yourselves, people. It's okay. It's all right. We all say dumb shit sometimes. So let's have a laugh at this and let's check it out. All right, here we go. I've never seen this one, so here we go.
I'm telling you right now, if the Republicans come back losers on election day, there's going to be a problem.
This country's in so much trouble.
It can get ugly.
January 6th will look like a parade.
Mass carnage.
This country will be a powder keg.
And we're off.
Okay.
By all accounts.
So first off, let's just start with this. This is the one where everybody wants to talk about there's going to be a civil war. I'm going to say this one more time. You guys have a lot of good shit. Don't fuck it up or something stupid.
These midterms are going to be messy. Almost 60% of the country will have a candidate on their ballot who denies the results of the last presidential election, raising the questions, are we ready to scrap the quaint notion of a peaceful transfer of power? And are we in for even more of this kind of violence? To find out,
he's making light of a situation, but he's actually really serious. You people need to calm the fuck down.
I'm heading to 3 hotbed swing
You
states
people.
to finger the pulse on the midterms and see if America is still good with
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. I think I need one of those.
this whole democracy thing.
Get him, Jordan. This music gets me pumped. Hard late.
First stop on the Electing the Election Deniers tour, Pennsylvania. The GOP's nominee for
He said electing the election deniers.
governor is Doug
shit.
Mastriano, the most
I don't know this guy.
high-profile candidate who was there at the Capitol on January 6th. So I hit up a Mastriano rally to see if that kind of seditious gumption makes him governor material.
Hashtag not my
The
president.
fact that Mastriano went to the Capitol, does that disqualify him from being your
No, because everybody makes emotional mistakes. That's what
He's
happened at Calvary. A whole bunch of people got caught up, including the state, and they killed Jesus.
Let
Ho!
he who has not been a part of it in
Ho! And they killed Wait, is he saying it was okay they killed Jesus? Like they just made a mistake?
insurrection cast the first stone.
There you go.
I trust that man with my life.
His appearance at January 6th, qualify or disqualify him?
I got no comment on January 6th.
A big part of his identity is based on the fact that he is somebody who went to January 6th. He spent his own money to pay for buses to get people to go to January
So you're
6th.
crucifying a man for going down there. The man wanted to support his president.
The events had negative connotation on our country.
I came and supported him here. We're going to crucify me because I came here?
Sir, did you assault any Capitol Police officers while you were there at that time? Because if you were, you were in trouble. But if you didn't, then it's okay. But you can't be breaking shit. You can't be smashing windows and fucking beating cops over the head with fire extinguishers. Or the fuck they ever did when they were there. You can't yell hang Mike Pence. I don't like Mike Pence. You still can't yell hang Mike Pence. That's bad for the country.
How many cops were injured here? Were there any deaths?
See?
All right, so there's deaths and injuries everywhere.
Sure. Is that what you're going with?
It's football season.
For
Lots
some,
of
this
injuries.
wasn't just an
Hamstrings.
event. It was a reunion.
I was
ACLs.
there on January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
So
was I.
You were there January 6th?
Yes.
What do you say to people who say he shouldn't have been there on January 6th?
It's ridiculous. It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw.
Wow.
Thousands, maybe 1 million people
A million?
gathered. So
A million?
It was a peaceful rally.
January 6th.
January 6th.
It is real peaceful.
January 6th.
January 6th. And when we walked up to the Capitol building,
Quiet.
yeah.
Birds chirping, police officers screaming.
No.
No.
No, I saw them sitting around waiting for their donuts.
Some of them were attacked that day.
They were.
Did you not see the videos?
I couldn't watch it.
You could watch it. Why is that?
Wow.
When we went home and we were watching on TV what happened,
Blinders.
Yes.
I said, turn
Put
that off.
blinders
That
on.
is not what happened today.
You didn't see
Put
any violence.
that's
No.
definitely
But to
not
be
what
clear,
happened at all.
when it was
No.
on television, violent images, you turned it off.
I turned it off because it wasn't true. It wasn't an accurate depiction of what was going on that day.
What was it? Was it like magical CGI George Lucas shit?
Oh, well, yeah, could be. I don't know.
Did I just give you
He just invented a conspiracy theory. He done fucked up.
one? You're like, well, that's an easy out. I'll take it.
I'm not going to talk about all this.
And like that, a theory was born. And after a minimal amount of fanfare, Mastriano appeared, and he was frickin' hilarious.
Going after the pillow guy? Are you serious? Give me a break.
Are we
Scotty,
serious?
beam me up. No sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Boom. But even with the coveted Trump endorsement, the crowd was tiny. Was it small
he's
because
amazing.
of Mastriano's
He's
far-right
fucking-
policies and election denialism? Nope.
I gotta say this too. Ever since Trump, all the politicians are trying to be comedians because Trump got up there and was able to like talk shit and like demean people and like nobody ever seen that before. Like that Shane Gillis stand up where he talks about that, like they just caught everybody off guard and like nobody knew what to do. Now everybody's trying to be that person. But none of you guys got that going for you. So, like, just do what you do. Don't try to be him. Be you.
This is
If you get this
like
done for him.
Facebook.
Is that man's arm short?
Conservative speech.
The reason there aren't people
weird
here
arms.
because Facebook is silencing these people.
Silencing, yes.
They're saying the numbers are suppressed because Facebook suppressed. probably
Goddamn
suppressed
Facebook.
it.
Well,
But
how did you figure out to come today?
I got the information from Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Facebook might be suppressing people from coming.
Yeah.
But that's how you found it.
That's how I found it.
That's how I found it.
Uh,
A very MAGA rally without the heat of Trump was almost relaxing. But there is a danger here. It's not that MAGA supporters are the majority, it's that they refuse to believe they may not be.
If Doug loses the election, will you believe it?
Doug's not going to lose the election, so there's nothing for me to believe in.
Yeah, let's say. If the news comes out and it says that he did indeed lose, is it possible that it's not fraud? It has something to do with this turnout?
No.
There's no way a man who had 75 people here supporting him today could lose this election.
We already know they're going to try and steal the election again. It's an important election.
You believe that it is a democratic contest between two people, which means one person will win and one person will lose. Is that something you accept?
That depends.
But it sounds like very hard for
Jesus
you to
Christ.
process it or react normally if it did happen.
Is this the new normal for American
Wow.
democracy? An inherent distrust of any democratic result you dislike? I went to D.C. to ask the delicate question.
Is democracy
Well, I mean, we could be screwed tomorrow. We could be tomorrow if the wrong thing happens.
Adam Kinzinger, a Republican congressman from Illinois, thinks Trump's impact on MAGA psychology is still being felt today.
It used to be a very grown-up thing is to admit your weakness, right? To come out and say, I've failed at that.
to admit you lost. Like, exactly. I mean, he's gone off something else here, but like literally we just had a conversation with my 9-year-old about how admitting when you lost and accepting it and how you learn from losing and how failure is just a part of your story. And like now these grown-ass adults can't even lose without throwing a goddamn tantrum. Y'all need to like get your shit together. You need to grow the fuck up.
Or I was wrong, or I'm sorry. That now is seen as a sign of weakness. Donald Trump, who
Yeah,
is
you're not allowed to
5 years
apologize
old in
anymore.
his emotional intelligence, truly.
5 years,
he
yeah.
cannot accept that embarrassment. And you see that throughout both why he wanted to stay in power and his active attempts to do that after the election.
Kinzinger voted to impeach Trump once and sits on the January 6th committee. And for that, he's been censured by his own party, a party he wishes would stand up to the big lie.
Fuck
And
parties,
the problem
bro.
is the counter to that could be somebody like Kevin McCarthy, but he's too much of a sissy to actually take a tough stand. And most of my colleagues are too scared to actually take a tough stand, and truly, that's why I've endorsed Democrats this year.
With just a few weeks left in
Wow.
office, the congressman is focusing
Well, that's good to hear
on a
that he can reach
position
across
most
the aisle.
Americans
Shouldn't be
don't
two
care about.
parties.
secretaries of state. In most states, they're the offices that validate the election. But right now, many of the candidates for that position are election deniers.
I looked at these races and said, I've got to put my money where my mouth is. So we're really kind of rifle shot focused. Look at the Secretary of State race in Nevada, Arizona, Michigan.
So this is how low it's gotten for you, Kinzinger, is that you're now endorsing other parties' Secretary of States in states that you don't live in?
Yeah, I just need friends at this point, man.
Yikes. You're like a month and a half away from like cutting ribbons at a Pizza Hut in Des Moines. But like the Pizza Hut that's just reopening after a kitchen fire. Yikes.
Plots to steal our democracy are bad, but what about plots to steal our actual elected officials? I'm off to Michigan.
Oh yeah, where that lady, she almost got kidnapped, right?
With my confidence in America's ability to accept loss shaken, I decided to head to my home state of Michigan, home to lions, tigers, and election deniers. Oh my. Not to mention a governor seeking re-election after avoiding a kidnapping plot.
The plan, according to prosecutors, abduct the governor from her vacation home.
But now Governor Whitmer faces...
And this is the kind of stuff when you ask somebody that's like a MAGA supporter or something like that, you're like, so what about that? And they're like, oh, they were gonna kidnap her. It was like, it's gonna scare her a little bit. Like, that's the kind of shit that you heard, like, during, like, the fucking racist days of America. Oh, we're gonna kill him. Just gonna scare him a little bit. That's all. Yeah. Like, fucking, this is insane. You guys can't go kidnapping fucking politicians. A lot of them are fucking idiots. And they need to be, like, told in some way, like adults, that they're fucking idiots. But don't kidnap them. That's going the wrong route, man. You're starting the fucking fire. Don't start the fire.
Yet another challenge. This one from Republican candidate and election denier Tudor Dixon. So I headed to Warren and introduced myself with the traditional Michigan greeting.
About right here.
Crawford's right there.
Yep.
On the thumb.
You're in the thumb.
On the water.
Yes.
Okay, I'm from Kalamazoo originally.
Yeah, I'm in the
I like
thumb.
that.
We're right in the center of everything.
Right there. Well, Lansing's in the center of everything.
Well, not if you take the UP into consideration.
Thank you very much. Real Michigander, am I f***ing right?
Enough hand stuff.
There you
This is
go.
a rally for Tudor Dixon.
He likes his
So what
people,
do
man.
Michiganders like about Tudor Dixon?
She's a Republican. That's about all I like.
She's Republican?
So you must be a huge Tudor Dixon fan.
I don't know who that is.
You're at a political rally for Michigan
Yes.
GOP candidates. Can you name a Michigan GOP candidate?
No, but I can name Trump.
Boom. So Dixon was not your first choice.
Boom.
Oh, no, Brian Kelly was.
But you're accepting your second choice here in the results of the electoral process.
This is that problem. It's part of that bullshit. It's a gang mentality. It's tribalism. It's red and blue, blood and crip. Like a bunch of high class white people that talk down on all the gangbangers and all that shit of the world. But you just part of a gang too, dude. You just part of a gang too. You can't even think past the color of your team. You're red or blue, Bloods or Crips.
Up to this point.
Yes. Yeah. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. It's how I feel.
That's just how the electoral process works.
Well, at
Sometimes
least
the
she's
person
honest.
you want to win doesn't get enough votes, and you accept it and you move on.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Who do you think won the last election?
Trump.
Yeah.
Part of what makes Michigan so interesting is the variety of creative ways the GOP worked around democracy, including fake primary ballot signatures, fake electors, and plots to hide those electors overnight in the Capitol. Still,
one thing I will say about all the election stuff, like some of this stuff does exist. So at least they're causing people to have to look into all this stuff. So I think that that's actually a positive, because I know that some of this stuff does exist, and that we really, as American people, have just kind of accepted it over time. And it's good that now people have like started to investigate this. However, you can't investigate it and find like, okay, well, this was wrong, but it wasn't to the point that like you guys thought it was. It's not going to overturn an election or anything like that. But however, yeah, we do need to fix this. Like, you got to accept that. You know, you got to accept that it didn't turn out, that it ended up being this crazy amount of election fraud that then makes Trump president. He didn't win.
they maintain they're about one thing.
Election integrity. Election integrity.
The Democrats are so good at rigging elections. Why didn't they win against Trump?
They weren't good enough at it. The second time around with Biden, they perfected it.
Democrats did crafty stuff like sending
4
in
years. It took 4
electors.
years.
Right?
It's all unconstitutional.
That's a Trump Budweiser. That was a Trump Budweiser shirt. Idiocracy is coming, folks. Idiocracy is coming.
To sleep in the Capitol overnight to get those fake electors in.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Drain
Those
'em.
specifically were things that Republican GOP in Michigan did.
Yeah.
Is that shady?
No.
If you knew you got fewer votes, you wouldn't concede.
No.
But if you knew that you got less votes in a democratic process, that somebody else got more votes, would you concede that that person got more votes?
What does conceding mean?
Yeah.
It means accepting loss. If you lose, would you
concede?
No.
No.
Why?
Jesus.
So their opinion on free and fair elections is a little unclear.
Woo!
But what is clear is how they feel about current Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Not a Whitmer fan.
Her numbers are pretty good right now. Whitmer's up
Oh,
16.
that's baloney. I don't believe those polls.
You don't trust polls?
If they're done by the Republicans, yeah, I trust the polls.
They're telling you what you want to hear.
done by either party.
Then you trust the poll. It's important for polls not to reflect reality, but to reflect your reality.
Exactly.
Are you a Tudor Dixon fan?
Oh,
Yes.
You're not a Whitmer fan.
No.
And she's very popular right now. She got a big boost after the kidnapping threat.
Yeah, but I think they hyped it up more than it was because those people are still locked up. And for what? What'd they do? They didn't do anything.
They're just threatening to kidnap the governor.
Yeah, anybody can say anything. Unless they do anything, then...
They staked out her house and had kind of a plan.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything.
Just because I'm thinking about thwarting democracy, and then meeting friends and talking about thwarting democracy.
Oh,
and
my
putting
God.
plans in action to thwart democracy.
I mean, if you're gonna plot to kidnap, I mean, why can't you? Like, if I want to, just don't do it.
Just spitballing here. You got any plots you've been thinking on recently?
We've all had those thoughts, like, oh, I should go do this, but no one actually acts on it.
Have we?
All of us? I'm sure all of us have.
Having those thoughts is fine. What about people who get zip ties, go into a place they're not supposed to go into with the idea of overthrowing and taking hostages?
Well, I mean, you shouldn't do that, obviously.
What do you think about what
Just
happened
think
on
about it.
January 6th?
That was set up. That was totally
You think that was set up? Why did they have zip ties?
You don't know that they were going to use those zip ties for harm. What if he bought the zip ties?
I like to carry zip ties on me all the time. All the time. Yeah, just always you have some zip ties on me. No, that doesn't happen.
6th.
That was set up. That was totally
You think that was set up? Why did they have zip ties?
You don't know that they were going to use those zip ties for harm. What if he bought the zip ties because something on his truck was getting ready to fall off?
Sure, right?
You never
I
know.
could be dressed up in camo, illegally entering the Capitol on the day of their certified election with zip ties because I have a shitty truck.
So they might not
have a
know the
shitty
intentions
truck.
of those with zip ties, but they're pretty sure
Dude,
about
he's
who pulls
fucking
the strings.
hilarious.
I found out that there is a group above the presidents, and they're called the Council of Foreign Relations.
Who's on the council?
It is the secret council.
But who are they?
I know. They're
I
like.
need to Google this.
No, I don't though.
I know.
But no, I don't.
Who are they?
Neither does anybody else.
Those Jewish bankers, they're trying to screw us.
We're swimming in that anti-Semitic
Her and
land,
Kanye.
right?
You're a slave, you're a slave, you're a slave, you're all a slave.
You see Republicans on one side and
The devil on the other.
are we talking metaphorical devil, like, oh, they do bad stuff?
No, literally, vampires drinking blood.
I don't want to nitpick here, but vampires tend to be eternally youthful. And I look at Nancy Pelosi, and she's a lot of things, but I guess I don't think vampire.
Somebody in her party definitely drinks blood.
Wow, vampire Jewish bankers
the
was a lot
fuck?
to take in. I decided to change track. Perhaps
Christ.
instead of politics, I could
It's
reach
worse than
them
I
the
thought.
way every American reaches their family members at Thanksgiving, through sports.
You're a Lions
Yeah.
fan.
I am a Lions fan,
There's a lot of disappointment being a Lions fan.
especially this year.
But still, as a fan of something, you want them to win.
Absolutely.
And then they let you down at the end. How do you deal with that heartbreak?
I don't know. I just absorb it.
And it hurts to lose.
Don't like it, but I'm proud. We're right there.
You gotta let that game go so you can fight the next game.
I mean, it's not my whole life.
If you are like, the Detroit Lions represent who I am and they lose, you'd hold on to that and you'd deny that loss because it would be so devastating to yourself.
Well, then you have to say I'm a loser.
Exactly. Quick check-in here. Who do you think won the last presidential election?
President Trump, no doubt.
I was beginning to think that Michigan was a
He
lost
was defeated
cause,
there.
But it
He
turns
was
out
like,
my
"Fucking,
home
I don't
state
know
is
what
a
to say."
paradise of democracy compared to the final stop on my journey, Arizona.
Oh, go back. What is Bojo mean?
Beginning to think that Michigan was a lost cause, but it turns out my home state is a paradise of democracy.
What does that mean? Bojo. Someone in the comments tell me what Bojo means. I also need that Halloween costume. Look at it. Look at it in the back here. Oh, shit.
Democracy compared to the final stop on my journey, Arizona.
All right.
It's no surprise that
Let's
the
go.
GOP candidates here have embraced the big lie. Someone already convinced them that a place this hot can sustain human life.
It's
And
desert,
sandstorms.
And it's really freaking
Don't
hot,
forget
so I
about
need a hat.
sandstorms.
Let's go, Brandon. President Trump, Second Amendment. Drinking team? That's just, I'm an American, I like to drink.
Not everything's about Trump.
This is just about
Thank
drinking
God.
in the USA.
Exactly.
You know what? That has my vote.
In the blazing sun, patriotism was on the march.
I'm in.
Or at least on the hoverboard. And there was another thing they were gently leaning forward and rolling away from. Reality.
Is he still alive, JFK Jr.?
You bet. 19th president.
He's the 19th president.
Yes.
My assumption was Joe Biden was the 46th president.
Let's face it, Joe got his shot. Listen to Trump's words.
What does that mean, Joe got his shot?
Well, Guantanamo Bay, they shoot people that are treasonous motherfuckers, and he's a treasonous mother.
That dude is Irish as fuck. Is that Conor McGregor? Was that Conor McGregor's grandfather? Might be.
Who is?
Joe Biden.
Got killed in Guantanamo Bay?
No doubt. James Woods is playing him now.
The actor James Woods is portraying Joe Biden as president.
You bet.
Is James Woods that hard up for work?
James Woods is putting on a mask and a voice modulator, and that's who Joe Biden is.
Those are some shocking updates.
Okay. I know my people. Irish people crazy as fuck. We can't help ourselves. You know, it's in the water.
It's to James Woods' IMDb page. But these patriots were here to support candidates like Carrie Lake, who's running for governor on the platform of election denial and personally vacuuming Trump's rug.
Oh, that's
And also Secretary of State candidate
It's like
Mark
innuendo.
Fincham, an oath keeper who said he wouldn't have certified Biden's win in the 2020 election.
How important is it to win the Secretary of
hats.
State position?
Everything.
Why?
What they say is not who votes, it's how many people are counting the votes. But we need to get the right people counting the votes, because that's why Donald Trump got screwed out of the last deal.
Then the Democrats
Honestly.
can't even win if you get the right people counting
Right.
the vote. And is that the goal?
Yes.
If you control the people who count the vote, then you control who is in
You
office.
got to control who counts the votes.
The one reassuring thing is that a lot of people in attendance were official poll workers. So if anyone knew there was election fraud, it'd be these guys.
I'm a poll inspector, and I work every election to make sure everything's done correctly. And I did not see any problems.
You did not see fraud.
I did not see fraud.
You're a poll watcher?
I am an observer, yeah.
Your experience in 2020, did you see any fraud?
I can't say that I did.
So do you believe the results of the 2020 election?
I don't know.
You don't know. Seeing isn't exactly
Yeah.
believing.
Come on. Right.
Why don't you believe it? You saw with your own eyes no examples of fraud.
Yeah, but you know, I watched 2,000 Mules,
2,000
of course.
Mules, yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is what scares me. That person's probably semi-intelligent, semi-together. Like, you can see it, her hesitation. Like, she knows what she's about to say goes against what her tribe believes. And so she's willing to, like, sacrifice her own intellectual, like, fortitude to give it up to just to be a part of the tribe, because she knows, like, that's what's scary right there. A bunch of fucking people saying dumb shit, like, that's not scary, because that's been happening forever, man. That's everywhere in life. You see it in your day-to-day life. You see it in politics. You see it on TV. But that's scary. When smart people start giving up their spot, saying that they're not willing to stand forward and kind of tell everybody the way they actually feel, to speak the honest truth, and instead just speak what their tribe wants them to speak. That's scary, man. Like, we shouldn't be there. We shouldn't be there. That's scary.
Yeah, but you know, I watched 2,000 Mules,
2,000
of course.
Mules, yep.
Uh-huh.
That's right, 2,000 Mules.
Again,
The
I haven't seen
documentary
this. I gotta watch
Fact
this
Checkers Rave is false, debunked, and indefensible.
2,000
Bill Barr
Mules.
said that. Fuck.
Unbelievable.
The 2,000 Mules movie.
Fox and Newsmax
Nice
won't
mustache.
show 2,000 Mules because they'll
Let me
get
just
sued.
say it. This is the moment. He found a man
Fox and Newsmax won't show 2,000
with a
Mules
great
because
beard,
they'll get sued.
right?
They're
right there.
afraid.
Look at that. Look at
Right,
that.
of getting sued because it's not
That's a pretty
valid.
good beard.
They don't want to touch it.
because they still have guys over the top of them that can still crush them.
You think there's a unified person above all of this that is telling all of the networks, including Fox, what to do?
I think it's winking and nod stuff.
What does that mean?
It's like they know on which side their bread is buttered.
But you've said that the majority of Americans are Trump supporters. It feels like if the bread is buttered on the Trump side, why aren't they supporting the Trump side then?
Right now, you're trying to thread a needle and trying to get some sort of like little tagline.
Let's a tagline, more an understanding.
Baking in the hot desert sun all day, I too was beginning to see things. But I was about to see there were some in Arizona willing to turn up the heat around the election even further. All over Arizona, people are concerned about the election being stolen. But I want to meet the people who have deputized themselves to do something about it.
We need to get back to one-day voting. Show up in person to do it. We can't trust the machines, we can't trust the mail-in ballots, and we can't trust the drop box.
Nice beard. That's two. Okay, the other guy, is more about the mustache, so I'm going with this guy. This guy's beard is definitely better than that last guy's beard.
These are members of the Yavapai County Oath Keepers. The National Oath Keeper organization has been labeled a militaristic, far-right anti-government group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. But these nice people have decided to let me in on their operations to monitor legal ballot drop boxes.
The concern is that drop
they have
boxes
lots of
can
nice
be
beards.
used for fraud. And so we've asked for a number of volunteers
I might join the Oath
sit and
Keepers.
watch the drop box.
We want to have coverage round the clock. Most importantly is that window between midnight and 6 a.m.
Who pulls the short straw to get the 4 a.m.
You'd be surprised. We got a lot of old folks that, they had volunteered for those. They were up ahead of time in the morning anyway, so they said, sure, I'm up.
Old folks with guns and low light?
Many states are already doing this. The only reason it's a question here is because Yavapai County is one of the most gun-toting counties in the country. And everybody at this table is carrying a gun.
Okay, thanks.
Except for you.
You really think in this room we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guns?
So you're assuming that we only have one gun. Let's start there.
Let's start there. This is like the overcompensating capital of America right here. Everybody has multiple guns, a huge flag, and a giant Jesus.
It was time to see
Giant
the
Jesus.
nefarious fraud inviting
Dude, he's
drop
got
boxes,
balls.
and to see what it takes to protect democracy.
I can see you're packing. What are you packing today?
We always carry.
Yeah.
It's Arizona.
What's the goal of the Oath Keepers to be here outside a drop box?
What it is we're looking for, it's seeing, the same people coming up with a backpack, stuffing things, and obviously they're not putting their own ballot in there. We're just active citizens monitoring the boxes. It's not a fear and intimidation thing. It's not voter suppression. There was a little old lady called the sheriff and said, I'm afraid to go because the Oath Keepers are going to be watching the box. Well, what are you afraid of? I mean,
Sounds like she was afraid Oath Keepers were watching the box.
yeah. And I don't know why. It's not an Oath Keepers operation.
It does look a bit like an Oath Keepers operation.
We're not here acting as Oath Keepers.
You're not here representing the Oath Keepers.
No, not at all.
So let me just say this too. Like, I wouldn't be intimidated by those two people saying there, but I came up from a different place. So, like, I'm not concerned about them. Like, I'm not concerned they have guns, whatever. Like, that's not my concern. But if other people are concerned about it, like, that's a problem. Like, that you can't intimidate people. I mean, there has to be a middle ground. There has to be a place where both the box can be monitored, but not by some random ass person with a gun that you have no idea whether or not they have the skill to use it or not. Like, it just seems ridiculous. So I hear what he's saying, and I actually don't think this guy sounds like he's a bad dude. He sounds like he has the right idea of what he's trying to do. But to be honest with you, I think maybe he doesn't understand. And I think the reason he doesn't understand is because he ain't aware of his own bullshit.
Keepers.
You're not here representing the Oath Keepers.
No, not at all.
You're going to see just a regular citizen wearing Oath Keeper gear
Yeah,
who has a gun.
Could be, well, no, because they won't even see them with a gun. They're going to see people in their vehicle. Nobody's going to be standing, leaning on the box, with a rifle slung on their, like we're being accused of.
Just going to be armed and waiting in a vehicle.
Exactly.
Not intimidation.
No, not at all.
And this not at all intimidating behavior has caught on. Around the
I actually
state,
believe
there
that
are
he believes
reports
it.
of other armed Dropbox watchers
But
wearing
that, look at
masks,
that.
hiding their license plates, and leaving
Yeah.
intimidating notes on people's windshields, which has me contemplating worst-case scenarios.
That recent poll said 43% of Americans think it's very likely there's a civil war in the next decade?
Okay, I'm going to be perfectly straight up and honest. It's going to happen much sooner than that. You're hearing this from the House of Representatives. You're hearing.
That's stupid. And if you want to go to civil war over some dumb shit, you're stupid. That's insane. We're a bunch of spoiled ass children that have everything we could possibly want in life, and you're going to fight a civil war where you murder your own people. I mean, you want to talk about tribalism? This is your tribe. America is your tribe, you fucking idiots. And if you're going to go out there and you're going to literally murder somebody else over the fact that you believe that the election was stolen, because you believe, but you have never actually seen these things with your own eyes, you're a sheep. You're the very thing that you're talking shit about everybody else for. You're a sheep.
Hearing it from the Senate. Bill Gates himself just said recently, if there is a problem with this election, this country will go to civil war.
The Civil War's coming soon. How soon? Because I have an Airbnb rented in the Outer Banks.
When we see things starting to move a direction, the storm clouds are moving in, we start to get ready. Okay. And that's what it's all about.
Our Civil
He's heard
War
that before.
He's
heard that
destroyed
somewhere
our
before.
nation when it
100%.
happened the first time. Heaven forbid that happens again.
What's the point of saying I have these rights, I have these freedoms, if I'm not willing to fight for them?
Some countries go to civil war, like in Central America, it lasts 30 years.
Americans dealing with a 30-year civil war, we don't have the attention span. We barely got through Squid Game.
He's
Preparing
fucking
for
right.
civil war is not new.
And that's real shit. Everybody wants a war when they feel just. Everybody wants to participate in war until there's an actual war. It's been proven throughout history. The moment that fighting begins and you start losing your loved ones and people start actually dying, the reality of war sets in, and nobody wants a part of that anymore. Nobody does. You don't. I don't. It's stupid. It's needless and it's ridiculous. Let all of this dumb shit be figured out by the proper channels, and stop hating each other so fucking much. This is crazy. That guy he's not aware of his own bullshit.
For the Oath Keepers. But what about actual members of Congress?
All these play war people that like to take pictures with their guns and uniforms on Facebook, have never served a day in their life, that think a civil war will be hanging out with the boys and having a good time, they're going to be the first to die because Walgreens is going to run out of their heart medicine and they're on 7 of them.
How close are we to another civil war?
I think we're closer than we'd like to think. And I used to be afraid to talk about it. Now I think it's important for us to talk about it.
And Kinzinger thinks it would look different than the Ken Burns film they make you watch in 8th grade.
Dude, Ken
We either
Burns
have a
is
cold
man.
divorce where it's like, yeah, we're technically together, but Florida's boycotting California, California's boycotting Florida, all this stuff going on, or Northern Ireland.
1980s Northern Ireland.
That's the new civil war, right? I do think it could get violent easily.
We could have
We don't
a
want
Northern
that.
Ireland situation here in America.
It's dumb.
I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but we have to look at this and recognize that as a possibility.
Yeah, I know this is serious, but the world doesn't need 2 U2s. There's only room for 1 Bono in this world.
Thankfully, avoiding a bloody conflict and another Zooropa tour might still be possible.
Self-governance is really hard. If we just walk away and be like, screw democracy, yeah, we will lose. And we may lose anyway, but it's a good fight.
He's right. Just walking around this place will stir your faith in the strength of America's institutions to withstand attacks, both ideological and physical.
This means something, and I want in 100 years people to think of when were the 2 times the Capitol was breached? The frickin' British, right?
And then overweight guys in Dewey
Frickin'
Beach
British.
sweatshirts.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I've been across this country. I've talked to so many Americans. It's emotional. When I come to a place like this, immediately I think, you should get a shovel and start digging a moat, because it could happen again. Guys, pre-planning. For God's sake, we
You
learned
think he's gonna
nothing.
say something
Like, do you have any
amazing?
shovels out here?
He did
We can
say
start
something
digging a
amazing.
moat today.
Woo!
As we approach this election on elections, we wait to see not who wins, but who accepts loss. It's scary to see how damaged our democracy is, and even scarier that we don't seem to have any ideas on how to fix it.
How do we save democracy?
put Kid Rock in office.
There you go.
Fuck.
That guy can't mess it up.
So, are we gonna make it? Well, I don't know. I do know I have a lot of faith in my country. But just to be safe, I'm heading over the border to Mexico before this shit goes down.
Well, once again, folks, dude is spot on. Like, wow. These people exist. And I really, like I said, I hope the majority of people that are out there, like, you're smarter than what's going on out there. I really do. I like I said, I've seen some comments. And I've seen some comments that are dissenting that actually, you know, the people had me going, like, look up some stuff. And I appreciate that. I think that the conversation is two-sided. Anytime you have a one-sided conversation that's just dominated by the pros and not by the cons, like, you know, you're always going to come to a pretty subpar solution. I think that we were meant to debate. We're meant to have discussion. But you also have to be accepting. There's a very, very important moral to this story, and that to this little show he's doing here, and that is, you have to be able to accept loss. Loss is part of the narrative of your story. Failure is just another part of growth. You when somebody like Donald Trump wins and beats a Democratic candidate, and then they choose to do things differently the next time around, that's because they learn from their loss. Like, and then when they learn from their loss and you come out and you get mad and you say they stole the election and you choose not to learn anything from your loss, well, you just lost again. They understood that they did something wrong and they tried to change it. They approached the problem of that Hillary created by condescending to Republican voters or to the blue-collar man by calling them deplorables, by acting as though Donald Trump had no chance. They did their best to fix that, and they barely did it. I think Joe Biden's too old to be in office. I want to see a younger man, and I don't mean younger by 3 years. Donald Trump is 3 years younger than Joe Biden, and stop saying he's in better health. Have you seen the way the man stands? He's not in good health. You stop electing 80-year-old people, or nearly 80-year-old people, sorry. But, guys, it's definitely not worth having to shoot your kin over. It's definitely not worth losing the great country, the enormous steps that we have made, these leaps forward that we have made over some dumb shit that you made up. People keep saying that the left created this like group hallucination over COVID. And there's something to be discussed there about how it's handled and stuff. But there is definitely a group hallucination on the right now surrounding the election results. Because this man makes multiple points in multiple different instances in which people cannot come up with an answer that doesn't directly correlate with what they believe. They make shit up to do it. They're creating reality around them. The very thing that you are accusing the left of with COVID, you're doing with the election results. Everybody needs to calm down, to make smart decisions, to elect people that are going to do the right thing for us, and to get involved. The thing to do is, if you really believe that there's something out there to be fixed, then get involved. Run for office. Join a group. Don't join the Oath Keepers. I mean, you can. They do have sweet-ass beards. I'm thinking about it just because of the beards. But, like, if you're really a group of people that are attempting to instigate a civil war because you want to play at it, my whole family's military. I grew up in a gnarly place. Being shot at ain't fun, dude. I've been shot at. I've had people pull guns on me. Like, it ain't fun. There's nothing fun about it. And you're glorifying something that you're going to find out is real bad. I know a lot about the Civil War. I've read a lot about the Civil War, and I can tell you it's one of the nastiest things you will ever actually read about in American history. The Civil War is not something we want to repeat. The first time that it happened, it was necessary, and the only way that it was going to be won before Americans' attention spans ran out, as he pointed out in this show, was to do it in a way that threw human lives away at an enormous and staggering rate. Don't do that again. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Whether you're saying nice things or mean things, I don't care. Let's hear about them. You want to talk about something, you want me to look something up, let's look at it. Like, bring it up. But, if you're sending me to lizard people sites, I don't want to get put on a list. All right, guys. Stay safe out there. Be nice to each other.